Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Sunday video report. Yes, we are back because the world did not end last night. I guess they were wrong, right? Oops. But hey, it's a good thing. It's a good thing because, you know, all the people that believe that the world's going to end in 2012 because of the Mayan calendar, they are not disappointed now. So guys, we've got another year to continue gambling. As for this, as far as I'm concerned, the only judgment on May 21st occurred last night in Oklahoma City, where I gave you another 15-dime winner on the Dallas Mavericks, telling you they'd win outright. They did, 2.5-point dog, getting the win and getting the job done. And today, guys, I've got more to talk about. I've got 3 free picks coming your way and another money-saving discount coupon code as well as we continue to celebrate as the world has not ended. Sounds like a soap opera, right? Anyway, hey, listen, here's the deal, guys. Last night, as I said, a 15-dime winner on Dallas. Now 2-0 with the 15-dime plays in that series. Also having the Mavericks in game number 1. In between, a 5-dime winner on Oklahoma City. In fact, a perfect 5-0 sweep in that series so far, as I also gave you free pick plays on the over in game number 2 and yesterday on the under. But Dallas, Oklahoma City idle for 24 hours, so now it's heading down to Miami for the Bulls and the Heat game. And guys, I've got another 15-dime release, my second biggest play, period, in the NBA. It's a 15-dimer, and it is on game number 3 tonight. These 15-dime plays, 22, 7, and 1 in the NBA the past 2 years combined, including 17, 5, and 1 this season, not only giving you the Mavericks in games 1 and 3, but last Sunday, of course, giving you the Bulls in game number 1 at home in the series against Miami, and last 2 Wednesdays ago, giving you the Heat in their closeout game against the Boston Celtics as a 15-dime winner as well. Again, 22, 7, and 1 the past 2 years, 17, 5, and 1 this year alone. It's another 15-dimer tonight, the second biggest play I've had in the NBA, period, on your game number 3 side. Now again, for those of you that are newcomers, let me just point out that a 15-dime play may not sound like a lot when you hear guys have 100-dime players, 75-dime plays, 50-dime plays, etc. But it's all relative to how games are rated by a particular handicapper. As for me, I like to keep things very, very tight. My scale ratings, 5, 10, 15 dimes. That's it. 99% of my plays are 5, 10, or 15 dimes. And I don't go in, you know, any other increment than 5. You will never be getting a 4.5-dime play, a 7-dime play from me. 5, 10, 15, 99% of them are 15-dime releases, or between 5 and 15 dimes. So this 15-dime play today is clearly a big play on game number 3 the side. Hey, before I go any further, and I'll get that discount coupon code for you in a minute, I've mentioned in the past I used to be a reporter, covered boxing. My favorite sport, absolutely boxing. Covered it for about 7 years, saw a slew of big fights in the 80s and 90s when I was on that beat. Did you happen to catch the HBO fight last night with Bernard Hopkins and Pascal? Hopkins, of course, at the age of 46, winning the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship belt, becoming the oldest boxer, eclipsing George Foreman's mark to win a title of any type, and we should say a legitimate title, if you know what I mean here, guys. But, you know, it brought out something for me, because, you know, growing up, boxing was king because you'd see it on commercial-free TV. I was surprised that HBO even showed this, not on pay-per-view, but as part of their regular boxing series last night. For boxing to ever come back, boxing needs 2 things. It needs free TV exposure to get the younger fans excited, and you need better matchups. That's the biggest problem in boxing. You noticed a couple weeks ago, I didn't talk about Pacquiao or Shane Mosley at all because it was a joke of a fight. I mean, there was no way you were going to bet Pacquiao at like minus 850 or whatever it was in that game. The only way you could possibly bet it is if you were going to say whether it was going to go the distance or not. Shane Mosley was washed up 3 years ago. I mean, it was a joke. And so was he in his awful performance in that fight. That's the problem. You don't have matchups. You don't have the great matchups like you had in boxing, you know, 10, 15, 20 years ago. I mean, you can go all the way back, you know, hey, look, I can't go back to when Sugar Ray Robinson fought or those type of things. You know, I can only tell you from the 70s going forward. You know, when you think about Frazier and Ali, the third fight in the trilogy, the Thriller in Manila, when you go to the 2 bouts between Aaron Pryor and Alexis Arguello, who cares who was doing coke in that? Maybe both of them, maybe neither of them. You never could tell with their histories over the years, but, I mean, great fights. The Gotti Ward trilogy, you know, Leonard and Hearns, Julio Cesar Chavez and Meldrick Taylor. Taylor getting robbed in that fight. Pacquiao and his battles with Eric Morales more recently. A guy who died shortly after, I think, this fight, Salvador Sanchez, Azuma Nelson. That was probably back in the God, late 70s, early 80s. Yeah, my money. I got to tell you, my money, though, the best fight I ever saw, I happened to cover it too, but the best fight in terms of pure action was Hagler-Hearns. And guys, go to YouTube. You can find it online. 3 rounds, the best, absolute best boxing match I ever saw in my life. I happened to be there, but it, as a fan or just as a reporter, it was just tremendous, and that's the one. But, the Hopkins fight last night, pretty good. He lost the first 2 rounds coming out slow like he always did. But you knew the tide was going to turn in the 3rd round when he started to taunt Pascal, sticking his tongue out, doing that thing that Bernard Hopkins does to piss people off. Did it in the 6th round, did it in this as well, and the 8th round as well. But, I think mostly in that fight, if you happen to get a chance to watch it on HBO, if you didn't see it last night, interesting strategy. And he's a defensive specialist, kept his right up here. It almost was like looking at a 1920s, 1930s match. Kept his right up here the first 2.5, 3 rounds. And then once he started measuring Pascal, that right dropped. And that's what he used. Right cross, right cross, right cross. And just used it almost like a right-handed version of his jab in a way. But that was his power punch. Should have gotten credit for a couple of knockdowns. I got to tell you guys, if you watch the fight, I think you'll agree with me. The referee, who was from Britain, Ian John Lewis, I think his name, just a lousy job in the fight. I mean, absolutely lousy job. And Pascal should be embarrassed. I mean, yes, he's like 16 years younger than Hopkins, but he was 26-1-1 coming into this fight, and the title holder. He clearly had the hand speed and the power to take care of Hopkins, but it reminded me of watching Rocky 3 when Clubber Lang in the rematch against Rocky let his emotions get the best of him because Hopkins just taunted him, made him lose his concentration, and really you saw Pascal in the fight self-destruct as it went on. So anyway, that's enough about boxing. Your money-saving discount coupon code today, guys. Since the world did not end yesterday, it will be END10. END and the number 10. No space between them. And 10. This is a discount coupon that gets you 10% off your total purchases today. So as I always like to tell you about these type of coupons, they are actually in many ways more valuable than the dollars off coupons because you want to put everything in your shopping cart at one time and then apply that discount. It's a one-time usage coupon. Don't have to buy my place. You can buy anybody's at the site. Packages, plays, whatever you want to do. But you need to put everything in your shopping cart at once and then apply the 10% discount coupon code, again, which is END10, and that will save you 10% off your total purchase price. Let's talk about the NBA game tonight in terms of the total on this one. Guys, I've got to tell you, I think the way to go on this game is going to be playing the under in this particular contest. 179 is the number here. I mean, look at the Bulls, what they've done defensively here of late. And granted, they were the best defensive team in the league. They gave up 85 and 82 points in the first 2 games in this series. And prior to that, 83, 100, 82, and 73 points, their last 7 games. So only once in that stretch did they allow more than 85 points. I think you play the under here. It's going to be a real war. It's going to be a defensive battle, and that's the way to go in the NBA contest. Now, another underplay would be Philadelphia and Texas to stay under the posted total with Roy Oswalt going against Matt Harrison in this game. Listen, the Phillies and the Rangers, they split the first 2 games of this series. Or I'm sorry, the Phillies have taken the first 2 games of this series by margins of 3-2 and 2-0. Phillies are 6-0-2 under in their last 8 games, scoring a total of 15 runs. 8-3-1 under in their last 12 games. Meanwhile, the Rangers have stayed under in 7 of their last 9. 26 runs scored. Phillies have a lot of injury problems offensively. So do the Rangers. That's why I like the under in this one, and I was surprised it was set at 8. The other game, I'm going to go with Seattle and lay the 135-140 with Felix Hernandez at San Diego. Padres losing the first 2 games of this series, 4-0 last night, 4-1 on Friday. Meanwhile, the Mariners have won 4 straight and 5 of their last 6. Padres 1-4 in their last 5 games with 5 runs scored in that 5-game stretch. Padres 8-17 at home so far this season, worst record in the majors. 4 hits and struck out 13 times in last night's game when they lost that one 4-0, and they've been shut out 9 times so far. Most times a team has been shut out in the majors. Another dubious record owned so far this season by the Padres. Again, I'll go with Seattle as your other freebie. Good luck, everybody. N10 is that discount code. Catch you again on Monday.